Hi, Chef Robert here with Ruff's Kitchen. Today we're working on green tomato recipes. My first recipe will be the green tomato lasagna. We have some nice green tomatoes. We were able to catch them before the frost came in. So we're going to get started. We're going to take an onion and some garlic. We're going to run it through the food processor. Okay, we've just did our onions and garlic, put it in the processor. Okay. What we're going to do with that, we're going to make a sauce. We're going to start with some butter and a little oil, vegetable oil. Okay. The vegetable oil helps the butter not to burn. Turn our heat. We want a medium heat. Okay. We've got our oil going, our oil and butter. Now we're going to add the onions and garlic. I always love that sound, that sizzling sound. Okay. Stir it up a little bit. Again, we don't want to try to brown it, but we want them translucent. So while that's doing that, we're going to turn that heat down on it now. Just enough so they can just barely be cooking while we're working on our tomatoes. Okay, we have our tomatoes in our food processor. We'll pulsate it first so they'll start breaking down. I like kind of a chunky sauce, so I'm not going to put it away to where it's really smooth. So that's why we're pulsating versus leaving it on and letting it run. Let's see what we have here. Might have to do just a little more, but we're pretty much getting there. A few more times and I think we'll be ready for our sauce. Okay. I think that's good. Okay. Everybody see that? Again, we're not looking for that real smooth sauce. We want some bite to it. So now, we'll come over here. We'll put our tomatoes in. Okay, we have that going. Now we'll turn the flame back up a little bit so we can get that to stewing. You kind of want a stewing process. Notice that it still has nice pieces to it. We're not like looking for that pureed look. While this is going, we're going to work on our other ingredients. Again, you just want to keep an eye on it, but they need to stew down and soften a little bit. Okay, while that's going, let's quickly make up our cheese blend. We have some cottage cheese. You can use cottage cheese or ricotta cheese. And if you don't like the way the cottage cheese with the curds, we can put it in the processor and smooth it out. I kind of like the curds of it, but others don't. So I'm going to compromise and add this to the processor. We're just going to dump that in there right quick. We have 1 egg. Now, again, we're going to process it right Can you see that? See how it's broke down a little better? Okay. We have one other ingredient to add to that. That's a little nutmeg. My granny used to call it nutmeg. Okay. Okay. Set that over there. Let's see that now. Now we have our cheese. So part of the cheese goes in the cottage cheese mixture. Just want to kind of mix that up a little bit. You can use mozzarella. You can kind of play with your cheese flavors. Meanwhile, while we're waiting, I'll spray our pan. And that's one thing done. Okay. Put that back. Okay. Sounds like our tomatoes are about ready for our next application. So we're going to add that in, stir it up real good. We're kind of making a roux. I don't know if you can see how it's kind of thickening already. Okay, one of the things you want to do is go back, turn your heat back down, because you don't want to scorch it and you don't want to brown it. Okay. Okay, next we're going to add our salt and pepper. I put that all together. We can just dump that in. I'm beginning to smell something good in here. Okay. Now, we'll go for our vegetable broth. We are going to go about 2.5 cups. Okay, that's 2 cups right there. And you want to slowly pour it in because you're not trying to get any lumps in your sauce. But you want to constantly stir. You want a smooth texture. Okay, set that there. I'll turn my heat back up again. It's very important that you control your heat while you're cooking. We have about another 1/2 cup to add to this, but we'll let this get going. Because again, it depends on how much moisture you get out of your tomatoes. When I was cooking at a young age, I had a problem stirring. I would be stirring and my whole body would be stirring. When in all actuality, all you needed was your wrist to move. And so I had to learn that the rest of my body didn't have to go with the steering. That's why I was tired a lot of times from cooking, I think. Okay. We have just a little more sauce to add. A little more broth. I'm using vegetable broth, but you can use chicken broth. Okay. Let that go for a minute. Now, we want this to thicken a little bit. So we're going to constantly watch it, constantly stir it. One of the things what we are doing, we're cooking the flour as well. You don't want a pasty taste. This also helps the vegetables all together incorporate their flavors. Okay, look like we're just about there. We'll turn it back down. Look at your heat. It's about controlling the tempo of your cooking. Okay, that looks like that's about ready. Next we will add our basil. We have some dry basil. You can use fresh. Let that go a minute. Our final ingredient will be chicken. I have some already prepared chicken that's diced. Now when you add this, you want to make sure you do not overstir it and you do not overcook it. We want to keep the size of the chicken the way it's supposed to be. Okay. Pretty much. And you don't have to cook it a lot for two reasons. One, the chicken is already pre-cooked. Then you're also going to bake it. So again, it's mainly to incorporate. And we have a chicken meat sauce here made with green tomatoes. Just as you're using it for lasagna, feel free to try it with some other pastas. One more ingredient I forgot. The secret is honey. I know people are like, honey? Well, it comes out of there. What the honey does, it offsets any acidity of the green tomato, and it also enhances the flavor. You're not trying to get sweet like dessert. It'll go good with the garlic and the onion. They're both sweet items as well. Okay. See how that looks? Looks pretty good to me. That's a little bit of honey. Okay. Always have one of these on hand. These are lifesavers, these are money savers. I had to teach a group of my cooks about cleaning out cans like ketchup. And we did a demonstration. They would open up the cans, pour it, and want to throw the can away. Well, once we put all the cans together and scrape, you'd be surprised how much more extra ketchup you had. All because of this one little item here. Whoever invented it, thank you. Okay. Let's start the assembly process. First thing you want to do, get your nice scoop of your sauce. You want to cover the whole bottom of the pan with it, really good. And the sauce may look a little loose right now. That's okay because those noodles are going to absorb a lot of it. So that's why we have it kind of the consistency that we're working with. Okay, we're going to place some noodles on top of that. Never panic if your noodles break on lasagna, because people will never know it once you put the cheese on top. It'll all come together. Okay, next we're going to take our cheese filling, take part of it, almost half at least. And you just want to politely, lightly spread it evenly as possible over your noodles. Now we have that, spread it about. You want it to be evenly distributed, so as you cut it, all portions get about the equal amount of the cheese mixture. Next, we'll put another layer of noodles down. Just tuck that like that. Okay. Going with some more meat sauce. I call it meat sauce. Chicken sauce, meat sauce, green tomato chicken sauce. Boy, I wish you all could smell it. It's really smelling good. Notice that the chicken is not broke up too fine. It's not mealy looking. Okay, we're gonna put this last layer of noodles on. Now, take the last of our cheese. Now I have a few scrap pieces of noodles left. I'm going to lay them on top. Okay, now we'll take our final amount of meat sauce. Now you don't have to make it this thick in layers. You can do 2 to 3 if you choose. But if you know the people I'm cooking for, you'll know you'll need that layer. I know it seems a little like it's a little juicy, but that's what you want. You don't want a dry lasagna. Okay, got that done. So now our final, we're gonna take the rest of our cheese and we're gonna sprinkle all on the top. Evenly coating, spreading it out. Okay. So now we have all the cheese on and it's all assembled. We're gonna cover it. And we're going to bake it for about 30 to 35 minutes. Depends on your oven. You might get up to 40. Why, look, I think our lasagna is ready. I had taken the top off to let it brown. Now, before you cut it, you want to let it set for a couple of minutes. How good does that look? Wow. How good does that smell? So we're going to let that sit. And basically, that's our lasagna for today. Thank you for tuning in to today's green tomato recipes. Brought to you by Castle, Green Tomato Project, and of course, Ruff's Kitchen. Have a great day.